People talk about VPNs like they're some kind of digital invisibility cloaks. You click a button and suddenly no one can track you, no one can see you, total complete privacy. But here's the thing, a VPN doesn't make you disappear. It just changes who can see you. I'm Josh, software exec, former startup founder and consultant, and on this channel we crack open the secrets of the software industry. Today, I want to take a little walk through VPNs, what they are, what they really do, and what's actually happening the moment you turn one on. Because the moment that you understand that, the whole idea of internet privacy starts to make a lot more sense. When you open your browser and you type in, a website, say youtube.com, for instance, your device doesn't just magically talk to YouTube. It has to go through your internet provider, right? The company that gives you your Wi-Fi or your mobile data, something like Verizon or Optimum. And it actually has to find YouTube and connect you to it. Now that provider, that handles all your requests and it passes them along to the right places and brings you the responses back to you so that you can actually see that video. It's like the post office for letters, right? You don't actually drop the letter in the person's mailbox yourself. You just hand it off to the post office to deliver it, and then they get it to its destination. That's what your internet service provider is doing with you and your data when you want to talk to a website. So when you visit a website, your provider sees that you're connected to it, right? They see that you're on youtube.com. They might not necessarily see the exact page or the exact text you typed, thanks to something called HTTPS, but they still know what sites you're visiting, when, and how often. So the fact that you're on here watching videos for 8 hours a day, they know that. They're basically your middleman for the entire internet. And most of the time, that's totally fine. But it does mean that they have a very detailed record of your online life. And in some places, that information can be sold or analyzed or even handed over to governments. Now imagine instead of your traffic going straight from you to the site, you send it through a little detour, right? Through someone else's computer. And that's what a VPN is. A VPN stands for a virtual private network. And all that means is you're creating a secure and private connection to a different computer somewhere else on the internet, somewhere else in the world, called a VPN server, and then your traffic is going from there to its destination and then back through it to you. So from your point of view, the VPN server, that's kind of your new launch point to the entire internet. Every site you visit, every app that you use, it all travels through that connection first. Right, so if you go to a website, it sees the VPN's location and IP address, not yours. And your internet service provider, that only sees that you're connected to a VPN. It can't see beyond that. And that's it. That's the core of the trick, right? It doesn't erase your identity. It just moves your visibility over somewhere else, right? Think of that postal system example again. Without the VPN, you're just sending a postcard, right? Your message is right there in the open, and anyone who carries it can just read it and see what's going on, right? They can see where it's from, where it's going, and what the information is. Now, a VPN takes that postcard and it puts it into a sealed envelope inside another envelope, right? And then your internet provider, they see that you sent something to a VPN, but they don't know. And then the VPN, they unwrap that. They unwrap that and they look at the real address inside and they forward it on to the person. Right, so in one way, it's private from people along the way, right? But the VPN server, that still knows what's inside the envelope. And that's why it's really important to choose a trusted platform for your VPN. The other thing that a VPN does is it encrypts your traffic, which just means that your data gets kind of scrambled before it leaves your device, right? Imagine you're writing a note in a secret code that only you and your friend understand, right? If somebody grabs it along the way, it's just gibberish. Your device and the VPN, they share a key that lets them lock and unlock that data, and that key is unique to your session and it changed a lot. So pretty much if somebody captured it, they couldn't use it again later. And that's one of the things that keeps people on public Wi-Fi like airports or coffee shops safe from snooping, right? Because even if someone nearby is watching the network traffic, which is very easy to do on public networks, they can't see exactly what you're doing. They can just see that you're talking in an encrypted way to another computer, a VPN. So pretty much, to sum that part up, there's three main kinds of risks that a VPN helps with. The first is local snooping. That's when people sit on the same network as you, like in that airport. They might want to try to intercept your data, see what you're doing. The second is ISP tracking, right? ISP, that's your internet service provider, right? And they can't log or sell all the details of what sites you're visiting if they can't see the sites, right? If all that's encrypted and going to a VPN. And the third is geo-blocking and regional limits. because your traffic appears to come from wherever the VPN server is located, you can access websites and services that might be normally blocked or restricted in your country. And let's be honest, you've probably heard about this one from trying to watch Netflix. So now that we know what it does, what does it not do? Because this is where the myth kind of really breaks down. What a VPN doesn't do is it doesn't make you anonymous. If you log into your personal Facebook or your Gmail account, those services still know exactly who you are because you had to log in. The cookies, the browser fingerprints, the pixel tracking, that stuff all works exactly the same. It also can't stop viruses or scams or even bad links, right? If you click on a fake email and try to download something bad, the VPN can't help you. It's about privacy, not protection. And then the biggest one is your VPN itself can, kind of in theory, see everything you're doing. At its core, all you're doing is shifting your trust from your internet service provider to your VPN company. And that's one of the reasons why places with these no logs policies are really important, especially ones that use an independent auditor. So if you're looking into VPNs, you'll see a lot that claim to be no log. And what that means is they don't store records, either of the website you go to or the data that passes through their servers. And some take it even further by using special servers that run entirely on RAM, so nothing gets written to a hard drive. It's wiped everything every time the server restarts pretty much. But unless there's a third party that's auditing or verifying it, you're effectively just taking their word for it, right? So take that with a grain of salt. So you still want to pick a provider that's transparent and has a real track record of doing what they say. So one downside is people often notice their internet feels a little bit slower when they're on a VPN, and that's normal. Your data is taking a whole extra trip to the VPN server, to the website, to the VPN server and back, and it's getting encrypted and decrypted along the way. So there is a little bit of a trade-off, that speed for that privacy. There's also a difference between personal VPNs, the ones that you subscribe to, and the idea of a corporate VPN for business use. So a corporate VPN for work, that's specifically for connecting the employees to the company's private network, right? It's like for internal servers or internal databases. It's less about privacy. It's more about compliance and safety and keeping company information from leaking out, right? But those consumer VPNs, those are the ones that are giving you the privacy and control on public networks. Same technology, just a different goal. So to sum up, VPNs, an important part of a bigger puzzle, right? You still need good passwords, two-factor authentication, keep up on your software updates, and just basic awareness of the links you click on. But the VPN, it adds another layer, a layer of privacy to your connection. It doesn't replace good security habits, but it is kind of like locking your doors, right? It won't stop someone who already has your key, but it will keep random strangers from walking in your house. So remember, VPNs, they don't make you invisible. They just change who's watching. So if you found that helpful, please like the video. Is there a specific VPN that you use and trust? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And if you'd like to see more videos on software in the tech industry, follow along with the channel because there will be more coming soon.